Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to do part 3 of What If Deku Was a Lightning Dragon Slayer. So, in the last part, Izuku killed the Nomu, took away the lacrima of the Shadow Guy, and they, just before they, just before anyone could see it, he put the lacrima in his pocket to make sure he doesn't absorb it and to hide it from everyone. So I asked in my video if you wanted the Shadow Dragon to give it Izuku the Lacrima. There's only one person that responded, so I'm going to take what he said. And so, Izuku and everyone else basically goes back to school the next day. Aizawa tells them they have a full week out of school because of the attack. And so they decided to, most people decided to or go pass time with their family more or to train. And let's say Momo decided to ask Izuku what he was going to do, which he basically just said that he was going to go look for something or someone. She asked him if she can come with him, which he kind of says no to because it's going to be hard bringing her with him. Which she then tells him, well, I can just ask my dad to bring us wherever you want. We have multiple cars and stuff like that since Momo's rich. Which Izu, which then Bakugo basically tells her that won't work no matter the mode of transportation. If it's a vehicle, he's going to be sick, so he's not entering. Which she basically kind of looked down, saying, oh, okay. So then Bakugo asked Izuku what he was truly going to do, and he says, I'm serious, I'm going to look for someone. Which Bakugo's like, what, your master or something? Which Izuku says, no, actually one of his friends, to be more precise. Which multiple people ask what he means by that, and then he says that his master told him he doesn't just have one element that he can control, but that to actually be able to control them, he would need to learn, to fight against different people who normally have them, and that he's lucky that and that he was lucky to even have the electricity before anything could happen like that. Basically because he knows that if that depending on the dragon that has it, that had the lacrima, some of them actually like humans and want to make sure that some of them are able to live or wants to make heroes. So the lightning dragon basically told him that if he meets other dragon and that they have the lacrima, he knows that some might actually give them to him because it basically the more they have, the more, the closer he's going to be to a dragon. So the longevity will go with it. And so, just to make it looks okay that he might get other quirks, well, elements that should do it. So Aizawa tells him, so why are you going to look for that guy? For his friend. Then Izuku basically tells him, because of the shadow guy, which Aizawa asks him what he means. Then he says, well, because the way he told me normally I would have unlocked them is with a shock to my system, with that specific element from specific people. So he told me about a shadow guy, a friend that had basically a shadow quirk that was extremely powerful, and so I decided to go look for him. So I saw what, well, decided to believe him, and so Izuku left using his thunder to fly. But Aizawa basically told Nezu about what Izuku was going to do, and Nezu asked for a hero that would be able to follow him to see if anything would happen to him. So they basically call Red Hawk, the guy that in season 4 we finally learn about. So basically, Hawk follows him for a while. Izuku sensing, well, knowing that someone's following him because he's hearing him. So he basically stops at a certain place, looks directly at Hawk, and screams, "You can come down, I know you're there." So Hawk comes down, looks at him, and tells him, "So, since when did you know I was following you?" And he says about this moment you started following. Then he asked why he let him follow him this way, which Izuku basically responds with, "Well, you're a hero, right? So I know probably that it's probably just my teacher Aizawa that told the principal to find a way to make sure I was okay after the villain attack." Which Red Hawk basically says, "Yeah, but they wanna." But I'm telling you this right now. I'm pretty sure it's because they think you're a traitor or something. Which Izuku starts laughing, saying, "I want to be the best hero around. If I was a traitor, I don't think that would work." Then Hawk asks him where he's going precisely, which Izuku says, "Well, I'm just looking around for someone." Which Hawk says, "Yeah, I know they told me that, but truly, where are you going? So that if you're gone, we at least know where to go looking for." Which Deku says, "I should be back in 2 days max, without problem, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to another continent." Which Hawk basically tells him, "If you're going to another continent, I can arrange a plane for you." Which Izuku basically says, "No planes, no car, no nothing. I can't be in them. I basically become sick to the point of not even able to move on my own." Which Hawk basically says, "So you're just going to fly all the way there?" Which Izuku says, "Well, yeah. Right now I'm trying to get as close as possible to the ocean before actually starting to use my full speed to make sure that I have energy to get there." So Hawk basically tells him, "So you're just going straight?" which Deku answers yes, and Hawk basically grabs him and starts flying him to the place, well, to the ocean. When he arrives there, he puts him down and basically tells him, look, I'm only going to say that you went into the forest and that you were looking around, and basically that's all I'm going to say. If they ask me more, I'm going to say that he basically found someone with a small camp and that you seem to be getting along well. Which Izuku accepted that, and Hawk went his way. And Izuku basically put thunder around him and went at full speed this time, basically going at the speed of lightning, going straight for an island, which is where the Shadow Dragon is. Be right back, I just want to make sure of the name. So his name is Kyandrum. It is the name of Rogue's Dragon, the Shadow Dragon from Fairy Tail. When Izuku gets there, it's basically like 2 or 3 days later that he's going to get back to Japan. Because when he gets there, it's like 2 or 3 hours afterward, after Hawk left him. When he arrived, the dragon basically came out his of where he was hiding because he felt thunder magic and his lacrima. So the dragon went to talk to Izuku and asked him why he had the lacrima and where his disciple was, which Izuku says he became evil. He tried to kill me and my class and the symbol of peace as well. Which the dragon said, "Oh, this is bad. What happened to him?" Which Izuku basically says, "I took care of him." And then the dragon told him, "Oh, you didn't kill him, did you? His heart was so pure, what could have happened to him?" Which Izuku basically says, "I don't know, all I know is that I took the lacrima from him, now he's in prison. So I came to give it back to you." Which the dragon looked at Izuku, said, "You could have kept it for yourself right after taking it out. But why did you bring it back?" Which Izuku says, "Because it's not mine. You're the one who should decide who has it." Then he says, looks at Deku and says, I feel a good energy coming from you. I think you should keep it. The more you have, the better you're going to be, right? So, take it." Which Izuku basically looked at him and asked if he was sure. Which the dragon basically grabbed it and placed it on his chest and said, "Just let your body absorb it. You're going to become a lot stronger from it." Then Izuku asked him, kept it there and asked him why he the guy he chose, and the dragon says that it was actually the son of the one he had chosen, but when he died, his son took it, and I let it happen because I was sure he was pure of heart. Which Izuku just basically says, "Well, it seems like it was not." sorry for the loss, and I hope that everything happens well. Which the dragon looks at Izuku and says, if you want, I can train you and explain to you how this magic works. Which Izuku accepts. And so for the next 2 days, which is the reason I'm saying he's only getting back 3 days later, since he already has a massive amount of magic and power and strength and speed and everything else, so he basically just taught him how to actually use that, since he already had the magic for it and knew how to use lightning. He basically decided to just explain the basics, and Izuku kind of figured the rest out. Like, just try using um your Dragon Slayer magic, but instead of thinking of your lightning, try using your shadows. And basically, for the first day, it was like that. The second day, Izuku basically was using shadows exactly how he would use his thunder. And then, right before he left, the dragon basically told him, if you need more power, just use more than one element at once. It could save you. Because Izuku is strong, but if it was hand-to-hand combat, the Nomu would probably have destroyed him, practically. But he has thunder, so fried like an egg. So when he starts going back, he basically uses thunder and shadow at once, and the speed he has is humongous. Like, he was almost twice, like, he was almost, like, how could I say it? He didn't train at all, but his speed increased by like 25%, so he's basically going 1.5 times what he was going before. Just because of the second lacrima. So when he came back to school, the teacher had basically were basically already talking with Hawk, because Hawk told them that it wasn't far, but after 3 days they basically said that it started being long and they wanted him to go back. And then Izuku basically came and just entered to tell them that he's back and that everything's alright. And Hawk said, so, you found who you were looking for correctly? Which did Nezu and Aizawa asked him, didn't you told us he found him? Which Izuku said, yeah, well, how could he be sure? He stayed in the air all the time I was looking for the guy. So if it wasn't him, he could still be asking. Which Hawk just says, well, all I knew is that you look like you knew the guy, so I kind of left you with him. So when the week is over, basically they come back to school, then everyone asks him if he found the guy he was looking for while Elzawa was there, and he basically said yeah, and he gave the same shock to my he gave the shock to my system that I needed to actually use the shadows, and it hurt a lot more than what the other guy told me to. Well, told me that it would feel. Which Bakugo basically says, yeah, like it could be that strong. Which Izuku basically decided to show him a bit of power. Just saying that's basically how much power he put behind it, and basically giving Bakugo a massive shadow hit, which basically he was on the ground coughing, like, shit, okay, yeah, I get it. It was hard. Which Izuku basically helped him up and says, yeah, sorry, but I know you wouldn't listen otherwise. Which everyone was basically laughing a bit because, well, Bakugo just got basically bitch slapped across the room. So Aizawa told him, so you did get shadows like the guy, which he says, yeah, and that he basically just got taught the basic, and to after that just use it like he uses his thunder. So he basically shows that he can enter his shadows and move around. And everyone's like, so you're capable of doing that now? So after that, Aizawa tells them, okay, in 2 weeks it's going to be the sports festival. So I want you to train for those 2 weeks. Which Kaminari basically looked at Izuku and told him that he wants to train with him because Thunder. So, oh shit, I just remembered that I forgot something. Yeah, sorry. For some reason, I'm not able to find the who I gave one for all. I think I said Mirio. So, if it wasn't Mirio, well, I'm giving it to Mirio because I really cannot find it for some reason. So, yeah. So, Kaminari went and asked Izuku to train with him. Um, Tokoyami and Dark Shadow as the same thing because now he basically has a shadow quirk, so he wanted to train with. Momo as well wanted to go and train with Izuku for strength and stuff like that. But Bakugo wanted to train as well with him, so Tokoyami, Kaminari, Bakugo, and Momo. All of them wants to train with Izuku. For the 2 weeks, they did with Kaminari basically being told by Izuku to keep a constant stream of electricity around him and to augment it from time to time, like after an hour or so, augment it like double it or something, and doing that every time. Well, not double it, but augments it by like, let's say he starts with 1,000 volts, and that every hours or every 30 minutes add another 1,000 on top of that, and just continue putting it up, and to try and learn to have it always on without him needing to think about it. So by the end of the 2 weeks, he always has a small amount of electricity running around his body, and he's almost immune to it, so his brain doesn't fry up. Um, for Momo's training, it was basically strength and speed training that she did with him, and that's pretty much it. So she got stronger and faster. For Tokoyami, well, it was basically just training like how to fight, and Izuku basically told, well, the thing uh, that they were able to do before the license exam, where Tokoyami puts Dark Shadow around him. Izuku basically told them to do that, and they trained with that, as well as Tokoyami training to control Dark Shadow in less lighted environments. And Bakugo basically just tried to fight Izuku every time he could, with just being put down practically instantly, and a lot of his hits basically passing through Izuku, because he can now become a shadow, basically. So that's basically what they have. Everyone else grew at the same speed. And so I'm going to end it before the. No, wait. I'm going to continue and just do the sports festival before ending it. So, during the 2 week, Izuku kind of started getting that Momo actually liked him. So he started thinking about it, and yeah, he kind of liked her too. So when the festival starts, Izuku basically goes near Momo before Shoto frees the ground, just basically to talk with her and telling her that she has to do it well, that and try and get the highest she can. And then he starts hearing the eyes that Shoto forms. Basically, let's say he starts making a small amount of ice under his foot just before the door open, and he basically grabs her, jumps a bit, well, jumps forward, and the moment the door opened, basically Izuku's in front with her in his arm while everyone else is frozen, and he basically puts her down and says to her, start running because I'm going. And basically he blasts off, like transforming into a shadow, and while passing next to the robots, he basically destroys one of them and continues going. So she starts running while everyone is breaking the ice. So she's further in front and basically passing next to the robot that's basically melted in half because of the Izuku's thunder. So that happened. So she's in front a bit, then the other robots start arriving. Everyone else is stuck with them, with Shoto freezing one and everything else, and Bakugo exploding the other one. It One of them falling on Kiroshima, then him breaking out, and everyone continuing running. And just before anyone else except Momo arrives past the robots, Izuku's already at the end because while that was happening, Izuku got to the place where they have to pass with ropes over a massive hole and basically just jumped and turned into thunder form and, well, engulfed himself in thunder and just went all the way to the end with that. So Endeavor saw that another kid had two different quirks, which then President Mike asked Aizawa what was that because he thought the kid's quirk was called Thunder Dragon, which Aizawa says, well, basically it's mostly that he never actually changed it because he discovered that his quirk is actually a multi-elemental quirk called Elemental Dragon because multiple people actually have quirks that are called dragon something, dragon and another element next to it. And one of them found him and basically told him what his true quirk was, something that the dragon thought was a impressive. Well, the guy thought was impressive, and that to control more than one other elements, he basically would need to find the other people. Also, in the last month, he basically went and found someone who had a shadow core, well, the one with a shadow quirk, and so that happened. Basically, saying the story that Izuku told. So, when everyone arrives at the end, Momo's in sixth place instead of where she was in the original, which was a lot further back. Bakugo's in first place with Kaminari in second. Uh, no, Bakugo is in second place, Kaminari in third, Shoto in fourth, and Tokoyami in fifth. So that happened, and so um, in the cavalry battle, basically Momo, Izuku, Kaminari, and um, let's say they Ochako asked them if she could be with them, so they took her. And so Izuku basically told them he's going to enter his shadows with all of them at once. And so he basically, well, went in. They could breathe, they could see outside, basically like he can. And basically everyone was like, shit, we can't get to them. With someone asking if they're disqualified because basically they're in the ground. With Aizawa saying they won't be disqualified by that because they're actually in the quirk of someone. It's just too bad that he can do that. So after after everything happens, Bakugo has the second most points. Well, Bakugo's team has the second most points, then Shoto's team, and afterward it's the same thing that in the original with the brain guy. Well, brainwashing guy. And practically everyone that was in it basically got in. Because let's say Bakugo took wait, I don't remember the teams. Well, whatever. Bakugo's team won, Shoto's team won, the brainwashing guy goes up, and Izuku's team wins. So in the battles, basically Izuku doesn't even let a chance to the other guy to speak and just push him out of the stage. Um, every battle practically was just a massacre, or just like in the anime. Okay, so at the end, basically it was Izuku versus Shoto, Tokoyami versus Bakugo, which Tokoyami basically lost against Bakugo for good reasons. Dark Shadow's afraid of light and fire, so Bakugo's explosion were basically a direct counter to that. In the battle between Shoto and Izuku, basically Izuku was just in his shadows or creating shadows and absorbing or breaking the ice with thunder or shadows, and basically telling him that if he doesn't use his fire, well, he already lost. Then told him that it's his quirk, blah blah blah, saying kind of the same speech. Because in this one, just like in the original, Endeavor told him to make his son use the power. And then just before Shoto is about to use it, he basically says, "You're like really out loud and everyone's hear it. Your dad don't. Your dad don't even goes for crap. He didn't. He didn't ever care about you or your family. All he wanted was a son that could beat All Might. So, what will you do? Prove him that you are the weapon he created to fight him, or prove him that you are someone independent?" Which basically that was the rupture point that sent Shoto into a fight during rage. Well, not rage, but basically using his fire for the first time all out. With Endeavor being mad at Izuku, not even happy that his son um, used his fire side. And then Izuku and Shoto basically duked it out in a way that Izuku was using about 60% of his full power, while Shoto was going all out, which made them practically equal at this point. And so, when Shoto told him that he's going to lose, Izuku basically says, "I'm not going all out. I'm a bit stronger than that." And then went all out and pushed Shoto out of the stage, with Shoto still being kind of happy because he pushed through his what he was trying to do, because someone basically told him that his dad didn't go for anything else than just trying to make a weapon. So he won. When it's the fight against Bakugo, well, he basically just went on into his shadow. Bakugo tried to move away and fly, and then Izuku jumped out and basically just kicked him literally through the this well to everyone else of Class 1A where they were sitting. He basically kicked him all the way there, which he then said sorry really loud because, well, he all basically kicked someone strong enough to send him all the way there. So Endeavor was mad at Izuku, so he kind of wanted to take his revenge a bit by trying to make him not improve as much while in the agency program. So he basically sent a recommendation letter, not recommendation letter, but a letter to that he wanted Izuku to come there. But Night Eye was interested in Izuku. And All Might, when he saw that Izuku had won from Night Eye, basically went in class and basically told Izuku that he wanted to talk to him in private. So he went and talked with him, and basically while they were in private, he told Izuku that what he's going to see there in that moment should be private, and they transformed, with Izuku not even being that surprised by it, because All Might just told, well, he was surprised, but he didn't ask if he was really All Might, because All Might told him, "I'm the real All Might, what you're going to see there is private, it's because of something that happened," and so All Might kind of buffed down, and then told him about Night Eye's agency, and that if Night Eye sent a letter to him, that he should probably take it. So Izuku's going to go there. He saw how Ida was acting and basically told Shoto and others about what Ida told him, and so to keep an eye on him if they're going to Hosu. And after that, he left to go to Night Eye's agency, where Mirio is, which will have One for All. So, yeah. Hope you liked it. This was part 3 of what if Deku was a Lightning Dragon Slayer. Natsu, out.